Welcome back, pre-AP. I have a couple additional problems for you that are just a bit more challenging. Notice in this problem, we are dividing by the square root of x. So to cancel out dividing by the square root of x, I'm going to multiply by the square root of x. So I'm going to distribute the square root of x. Recall that the square root of x times itself is the same as the square root of x squared, which is just x. So I have the square root of x times 7 square root of x will give me 7x minus the square root of x times 25 over the square root of x. This multiplying by the square root of x will cancel dividing by the square root of x. So that'll just give me 25 equals the square root of x times 30 is 30 square root x. Okay, so I want to try to isolate well, it's already isolated. My radical is isolated, so I'm going to square both sides to cancel out my square rooting. So I have 7 minus 25 squared. Remember my shortcut. Square the number on the left, which would be 49x squared. Square the number on the right, which would be positive 625. Multiply these two together, which is negative 175, and double it, and that gives you negative 350x. So multiply these two together, that gives me negative 175x. Double it, and that gives us negative 350x. Okay, equals. This is not a binomial, this is a monomial. So you're really just taking it times itself. You're taking 30 times 30, which is 900, and the square root of x times square root of x, which is just x. So in order to solve this, I'll need to shift my 900x to the left. So minus 900x, and I will have 49x squared minus 1250x plus 625 equals 0. I'll look for a GCF, but there is not one. So we will go open parentheses, close, open parentheses, close, equals 0. All right, we want to factor this trinomial. I took a quick break and I figured it was 49x. Oh, and this should be a squared. I missed that squared. 49x times 1x. And that gives us 49x squared. And 625, I broke that into negative 25 times negative 25 gives you positive 625. Now the trick is, do my outside inside add up to negative 1250? Outside inside. So 49 times negative 25 is negative 1225x, and negative 25 times x is negative 25x, and that does give me negative 1250x. So that is the correct combination for factoring. So once we factor, what do we do with our factors? We set our factors equal to 0 and we solve for x. 49x minus 25 equals 0, and x minus 25 equals 0. Add 25, 49x equals 25. Divide by 49, and x equals 25 49ths. Add 25, x equals 25. but one of the most important components is to check the work. So let's try 25/49 first. So we have 7 times the square root of 25/49 minus 25 divided by the square root of 25/49, and it's supposed to equal 30, so we will see. So this is 7/1 times 5/7. The square root of 25 is 5, the square root of 49 is 7, minus 25 divided by 5/7. We'll see if it equals 30. So those two cancel. We have 5 minus 25 divided by 5/7 is the same as multiplying by 7/5. And we'll see if it equals 30. 5 minus 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 25, 5. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 minus 35 is negative 30, not positive 30. So that one is extraneous. We're going to cross it out. Let's try positive 25 and see if it may be a solution. So we've got 7 times the square root of 25 minus 25 divided by the square root of 25 equals 30. So that's 7 times 5 minus 25 divided by 5 is 5. And 35 minus 5 does equal 30. So that one is correct. It does work. So we have one solution. All right, we did this one in class. Let's move on to this one, which is quite a good problem, but it's a little complicated. If we look very closely at this, we see that it's a binomial. My first question is always, can I factor? Is there a GCF that I could factor out? And there is. Notice they both have 3 in common. I could factor 3 out. Notice this one has an x, this one has an x squared, so they have x in common. And now this is the tricky part right here. Notice that this is x minus 5 to the 1/3 power, and this is x minus 5 to the 4/3 power. They actually do have x minus 5 to the 1/3 power in common. So they both, 4/3 has 1/3 in there. And so if I were to, just let me use a bracket maybe that would help to separate it a little bit. If I were to multiply 3x times x minus 5 to the 1/3 power times some number, what would I need to get this term? I think I would just need the x. So I would just need x, because 3x times x gives me the 3x squared. And there's my x minus 5 to the 1/3 power. So that takes care of that part. Now I would say plus, that would be this plus sign right here. This times what would give me this. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. The 2 is not too bad. I think we can get the 2. 3x times 2 gives me the 6x. And this is the tricky part. If you factored out the x minus 5 to the 1/3 power, if you factored that out, knowing what you know about exponents, when you multiply, you add your exponents. I feel like this would be to the 3/3 power now, because if I multiply x minus 5 to the 1/3 times x minus 5 to the 3/3, I add my powers, and that would give me x minus 5 to the 4/3. And that is correct. And we notice 3/3, really 3/3 is really just 1. So this is really just x minus 5 to the first power. So if we were to, let me erase all these extra marks. If we were to take 3x times x minus 5 to the 1/3, and we were to combine like terms, we would have 2x minus 10 if we distribute, and after combining like terms, we would have 3x minus 10. And out here we have 3x times x minus 5 to the 1/3 power times 3x minus 10 equals 0. So we have factored it. Our factors are 3x, x minus 5 to the 1/3, and 3x minus 10. Those are the factors. So we always set our factors equal to 0. X minus 5 to the 1/3 power equals 0. And 3x minus 10 equals 0. And now we solve. Divide by 3, divide by 3. X equals 0. We would raise this to the 3/1 power to cancel out the 1/3 power. That would give us, oh, and we would have to raise this to the 3rd power. So that would give us x minus 5 equals 0 to the 3rd is 0, minus 5, add 5, and we get x equals 5. And the last one, add 10, 3x equals 10, divide by 3, x equals 10/3. Okay, we would want to check each one of these. We would want to check each one. Since I'm running a little bit short on time, I went ahead and I typed it into the calculator so that you could see that the solutions are 0, 10/3, which is 3 1/3, and 5. So I just typed it into y equals the original problem. And when you graph it, you can see the solutions. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye.